How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MULN Mullen. It ended up having a pullback inside of the market, but there are some good takeaways that I want to share with you inside of this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for MULN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $1.60, being down 9.60%. On the low, it tested $1.57, and then on the high, testing $1.96. If we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 226.857 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 216.324 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, but we did see a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 50.20. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, but we are above the 21-day EMA. So one of the first things I want to bring to your attention, remember the day before we showed support at $1.54. And now for today, we show support at $1.57. So this is a great sign. We're able to form a higher low. And if you guys remember what I said in that previous video, if we could hold up $1.60 as far as for a close or even for support, things will look good. And that's why I am still bullish. So as far as the price action that we want to look for going into tomorrow, we ended up seeing a high of $1.96. Yes, we did form a lower high, but we still have the opportunity to make that move to get to the 50-day right here at $2.47. And it's part of the reasons why you want to keep this play on your watch list, especially if we see more strength coming into the tech sector. If it does decide to pull back and break this uptrend, then I'd want to see if it could hold up support at the 21-day EMA at $1.40. This will be very key because if we break through $1.40, then you're going to want to see support hold up at least at this $1 level, and that's where it can get bloody from there. But for the most part, I'm expecting a lot of things out of Mullen. Let's see if it could hold that 21-day EMA going into tomorrow, and we can get that test again above 2. So let's take a look at the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for MULN. So for the off-exchange short volume ratio, it is at 37.66%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 119.42 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.6 million, updated 4 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 12.19%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 11th, it was at 33.15, and then for the close of the 14th, being at 37.66. So what this shows us right away, Mullen does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for MULN. So we can see on the inflows at 91.43 and then on the outflows at 86.52. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 21.59, on the medium it was 54.25, and then on the small it was 15.59. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 22.78, on the medium it was 50.11, and then on the small it was 13.63. Keep in mind these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, March the 15th, we had that negative outflow of 1.19 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 652.05%. And you know what? This is actually a lot better than what we talked about in previous videos. Remember, it was well over 1,000. So what we are noticing, we have people who are holding on to their positions, but at the end of the day, there's still a lot of traders that are going in and out of this play. Now, let's get into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Mullen Automotive, as far as the stock's performance today, here are some takeaways you need to realize. First, we were able to form a higher low on the day. From the previous day, it was at $1.54. And for today, it was at $1.57. We did try to make that test going to $2, but we were unable to do that. But one thing that is very clear, there's still a lot of demand inside of the market. We can see there's still a lot of interest on the retail side. And even though we did have some profit taking that was going on, I think the stock did fairly well. Remember what I said, we want to see us hold up at least $1.60, and $1.60 is where we close today. So going into tomorrow, we want to see that continued strength. If it ends up breaking through that $1.60 level, or we're not able to actually form a higher low, then we want to see some strength above the 21-day EMA, which is at $1.40. If it breaks this level, then there's a possibility it can come back down to $1. But of course, I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. And that's part of the reasons why you want to keep a very close eye on this play and make sure you're playing off those support and those resistance levels. This is not the kind of stock where you just get up and say, well, you know what, I'm going to buy shares right now. No, you need to have a game plan. This is very important. Many people are saying, well, you know what, this is a pump and dump and so forth. But again, if you have a strategy, you're going to be well ahead of the pack and you're going to be able to bank some profit. We also have to understand we do have a Fed meeting that's going to be going down tomorrow. So we're going to be getting an update on what the rate hike is going to be. And depending on what that rate hike is, it's going to have a dramatic impact on the market. If it's in line with expectations of 0.25 basis points, I'm looking forward to see the market move up. If it ends up being higher than that 0.25 basis points, then I could see the market wanting to pull back. So this is one thing that you're going to need to understand. And if you are going to be trading it on the Wednesday, you want to make sure that you know what is going on in regards to the news and what the updates are going to be. Because the last thing that you want is to have a reversal on you and you're unprepared for that. So that's why I'm saying if you want to look into getting into a swing position, I would exercise some patience. There's no reason to FOMO in this play whatsoever. You shouldn't be FOMOing in any play at all. And the reason being is you want to make sure you have solid habits. I'm hearing so many stories, people saying, well, you know what, I bought at the high. Well, you know what, I bought at $1.80. Oh yeah, I decided to buy at $1.90 because I thought it would go to $2. Again, this is the wrong strategy. We've been talking about this for quite some time. We have previous support at 154 and I was like, you know what, we want to hold up 160. So if you decided to take a position at 160, at least you could have rode the momentum up and get some profits. And when it went to $1.90, it actually got to a high of $1.96. Again, this is a very simple stock to play at this moment. Let me be clear about that. But we know if you do your homework and you do your due diligence, you can see success. And before I close this video out, the last point I want to make, any money that you're putting into this play or even in the stock market, you can't be afraid to lose it. The last thing that you need is to have a lot of emotions in the money, because that's when you're more likely to make the wrong decisions. Also, don't have any immediate need for the money. And what I mean by that, you don't need to be putting in your rent money, your tuition money, and so forth. I know it does sound funny, but I'm hearing a lot of stories and I don't want you guys going out there and doing that. You only use what you can afford to lose. This is very important. And of course, my videos are not financial advice, so continue to do some more further research and figure out what works well for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.